All right, here we go. China Mac, welcome back to Vlad TV.
What's going on, Vlad?
Yeah, we're doing the quarantine edition here.
The quarantine edition of China Mac and Vlad trilogy episode 225.
Yep. And you're actually not in New York right now. You're down south somewhere.
Right, right. I recently got off parole like 3 weeks ago, and as soon as I got off parole, I just left. I went to Miami, and I've been away from New York ever since. Especially, definitely because of this virus that's been going on, and I just been trying to stay away.
Right. And well, you're 37 years old right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, what, 37? Yeah, yeah, I am 37.
And you've been on paper since 14.
14.
Wow. 23 years of your life, 2/3 of your life, you've been on papers and you're finally off.
Right,
That's crazy.
right. Every day, honestly, like every day I wake up and I'm just happy, you know what I'm saying? But like, just little things make me happy now because it's just like I'm finally free from everything. I can just move however I want, and I haven't had this since I could remember really. And you know, it's good. It's good to be here.
What's the main difference between being on papers and off papers?
Well, the main thing is just it's a peace of mind, because one thing is, if you're on parole, then that means you have to adhere to their rules. At any minute, you have to report every month. You have to be, drug test. You have to have a curfew. 9 o'clock, I got to be back at my house. There's only certain things I can really, I couldn't travel the way I wanted to. So I was really under scrutiny with my parole officer. But now I can really just move freely, like, a regular citizen.
Right. And any parole violation for a regular person, it's like, okay, here's just a slap on the wrist, here's a small fine or whatever else. But for you, you'd be sent back to jail.
Yeah, my last parole violation, was 16 months. I did 16 months parole violation. That's a whole bid.
Yeah. And that was for shooting the video on the roof or whatever.
No, that was my last parole violation in terms of they tried to violate me, but I beat them, so I couldn't get violated for that. But I just sat up on Rikers Island for like a month or two fighting it. But prior to that, I had another after our interview. Was it after our interview? Yeah, it was after our interview. And then I had a our first interview, I had a parole violation and they gave me 16 months for it.
Yeah, that's crazy. What did you get the 16 months for?
It was a parole violation, curfew. I had I got arrested, so just after curfew hours, so they gave me 16 months for that.
You earned some change for just being out late. That's crazy. And then sitting in Rikers for a couple of months for shooting a music video.
Right.
Uh, yeah, the life of a parolee. And but even though you're off parole, you're still a felon.
Right.
So being a felon means that when you apply for a job, that comes up. When you try to get your own apartment, that comes up. Uh, it's what, for example, Trady calls forever punishment.
Right.
Yeah, but it just kind of goes to show that the point of prison is supposed to be rehabilitation.
It's not. It's not.
It's just
It's forever punishment.
forever punishment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it really limits the kind of things that you could do. I mean, if you want to just become a regular 9 to 5 worker living in a regular apartment, you're precluded from living that type of life. So a lot of times people end up having to do crimes in order to just survive, and then they end up violating, and then next thing you know, they're back in prison, and they're a repeat felony offender at that point. So you get a much harsher sentence.
It's a vicious cycle. What's hard? It's hard to get out of prison, but it's even harder to stay out of prison. You know what I mean? And not, do the revolving door that many of us have done. So, every day is another every day is another challenge. I look at it like that. Every day is a challenge for me to stay free. I don't look at it as a challenge in a bad way, but I just know when I wake up in the morning, listen, we got to stay free. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a mind state that I'm gonna keep on having.